Hey there, divers! Today we're going to be diving the Yukon in San Diego, California with the wonderful Marissa charters. Let's get right to the action. Jumping in the water, we're going to be doing some valve checks, make sure no one's got any malfunctions before we hit the bottom. Heading right towards the bottom, we're anchored on the wheelhouse downline, and then we're going to be heading toward the bow of the ship. Here I'm taking pictures of some of the red gorgonians growing off the side of the boat, and here we're headed in through the bow, the dolphin-shaped cutouts. We're going to be spending a lot of our dive time today inside this ship, just mucking around, looking for some new stuff. It was a pretty cool experience. I've been to the ship a couple times. I've been through these hallways a couple times, but it's always been pretty prescribed routes. So deciding that we were just going to kind of explore and look around a little bit more, try out some hallways that we've never seen before was a really, really nice time. I was particularly interested in this area here. This is directly underneath the main guns on the bow of the boat. That structure that you see on the left side of the screen there is the turret that lets it rotate. It's also where the ammo and the firing mechanism and all that stuff is on the inside. Of course, the ship is on its side, so to go around the turret, we have to drop straight down and then go underneath it before making a direct vertical ascent on the other side. As I'm sure you can tell from these clips, the Yukon is a bit of a Swiss cheese boat. There's entrances and exits all over the place. There's always an easily visible direct line to the surface, so we're not running any kinds of line here. Of course, you should definitely be a more experienced diver before trying to come into a penetration situation like this. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of exploring on these dives, so a lot of the time I'm just kind of sticking my head through a porthole, taking a look to see around, is this somewhere that looks interesting that I might want to check out? And on this one in particular, no, I don't think so. We're just going to keep moving on and look for something else. There were some really cool moss crabs hanging out inside the ship on this dive, which I hadn't seen previously. There was one underneath the turret, if you look closely, and then another one here on this bundle of cables. Here's one of the more interesting rooms that I had yet to explore before this dive. I'm not sure if this is the engine room itself or if this is more of a transmission or a generator, but it's a very large piece of machinery in a room. There's some pretty tight little pathways all around it. Checking out, there's a moray eel in this little hole here. He's not super visible though. Making our way towards the bow inside this engine generator thing compartment. We get to a little drop down. It's a little bit more open on the backside here, but we're gonna turn around and wrap around the far side. This is the side that's closest to the bottom of the boat. So that wall on the left side would be the floor. Coming down this tight little corridor here, got a fun little corner. Not only do I have to make a slight right, I also have to drop down about 5 feet. It's always fun with flippers on. You'll see me grabbing little pieces of structure, pulling and gliding my way around. I find that it's a lot easier to maneuver inside this ship, to just grab a bar and pull yourself rather than try to do everything through kicking. Stirs up a lot less dust if you just grab something and move rather than trying to use your fins the whole time. As I was cutting this 360 footage, I noticed just how much my eyes dart around while I'm diving inside this ship. My eyes are also really wide open. You can see whites all the way around my pupils and irises. It's kind of crazy. You're only inside the ship for maybe 15-20 minutes each dive because of NDL times, but it feels much, much longer than that. You're really kind of locked in. You're constantly thinking about your buoyancy, your position, where you are inside the boat. It's a very complex dive. As we're making our way to the stern here, we ran into our friends, Juan and Andy. I'm going to give them a little scratch on the back of the head here, let them know we found him. These guys are doing a pretty cool tech light dive here today, so they Brought some stages of O2 with them. They were doing about an hour and a half of bottom time. Here we are gliding out the big cutout on the stern of the boat. We're gonna come around the side to the wheelhouse. We're gonna explore the outside of the ship a little bit. You can see that wheelhouse downline, absolutely covered in strobes. Nice little Christmas tree we made there. Here we are making our way up the anchor line on the end of that first dive. You can see there was quite a big change in water quality from surface to depth. It's a little bit milky up here. After a lovely surface interval, enjoying the fantastic snacks that Captain Lara has provided for us, we're gonna jump right back in. Here we are, back on the wreck. We just set our strobe on the downline, and we're gonna be making our way towards the stern here, past the rear guns. These guns are pretty cool looking. It's a neat shape, this big bulbous top and the kind of ring around it. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun to swim through that ring if the ship was oriented correctly. As is, it's a little bit of a hazard. And as you can see, it's absolutely coated in those beautiful pink strawberry anemones. Really pop off that green smungy water we're diving in here. Here I'm taking a picture of a little festive tritonid, a nudibranch that's super common to see on the outside of the Yukon. And here I've got another one of those moss crabs. He's tucked in with the strawberry anemones. Really cool. See this guy like 30 feet up off the sand, just climbing around the boat. Here we have the rudder, which is going to be where I got one of my favorite pictures of the day. It's pretty incredible how much stuff is growing on this rudder. I'm sure it never thought it was going to be home to so many fluffy little fans and things. You can see how big it is. You can probably park a small car on that rudder compared to the boys down below it. You can see that second rudder just above the sand down there. Here I am inspecting the drive shaft, again, miraculously covered in some very cool life. Lots and lots of red gorgonians on this particular wreck. Here we are looking straight down into the ship. If you can imagine, if the ship was oriented correctly, this would be looking horizontally down a hallway, but since it is on its side, we're going to be descending straight down into this room. It's a bit of a fun challenge, dodging all of these poles, turning around to orient with the way that we want to go through this ship. That big glowing porthole up above, providing a really nice backlight to my silhouette here. You can see the rest of the squad coming in as I'm making my way down through this room. It's about a 20-25 foot descent down to the next opening into the next room. And we're moving back towards the stern. We're just gonna make a quick bip through the ship here, come down a couple hallways, just spend a couple minutes in it. This is kind of an interesting room. I'm not exactly sure what those pipes cutting across the skylight there were for. Seems like kind of a strange structure to have in the middle of a room. Once again, making our exit out through that big stern cutout. We're going to be coming back around to the top side of the ship. This is the kind of inset deck back on the stern. We're going to be making our way through this doorway here. Once again, we're just going to be making a quick little detour through the ship here. We're going to be popping out just a room or two away over by the smokestack. Here's a quick little time lapse. We're going to make our way through this little restriction here. And then right here, we're going to make our exit. Again, another one of those fun corners where you've kind of got to turn 90 degrees and drop down 5 feet, and then pulling my way through that quite narrow exit. Here's Peter making his exit, and then Nate right behind him. Always a good idea to make sure that everyone gets out together before continuing on your exploration. I like these big pipes here. They stand out about 20-25 feet from the main structure. Not sure exactly what their purpose was on the functional ship. You can see they're right next to the smokestack there. Unfortunately, a lot of the superstructure is kind of fallen off the deck here as time has gone on and things have eroded away. Very cool though, again, covered in those pink anemones. Peter's showing off a little bit. Classic cave divers, am I right? Making our way back up to the wheelhouse. Gotta love that downline with the strobe going. It's extremely aesthetically pleasing to have this big silhouette of a rusty boat sideways out in the murky green with a nice big flashing light on top. Looks like someone changed out the drapery recently. The stars and stripes are looking pretty good, and so does the leaf with bars, I guess. It's about time we get out of here. Let's make our ascent. Here we have a fantastic example of what we call the poopacline. You can see the nice clean water below, and as we make our ascent through this layer, you can see the film of poop cut our viz down to nothing. I swear that there are two divers in front of me here. You might be able to see their primary lights through the haze. Anyways, that's it for today. Happy diving and safe bubbles. See you in the next one.
Good dog.